still have no full cover insurance. You will have no ring fencing. You will never know the interest rate for this project and the previous projects. They will.
Time check for you, 12 hours 2. We will return with a rebroadcast of the Gun Law Show after your main newscast.
This is the news on top of the hour.
Live from our studio in Georgetown.
Kaieteur Radio, 99.1 FM.
Good afternoon, my name is Amrita Koshal and this is your main newscast. In the headlines, Guyana should have a seat at the table in all future oil contracts, according to former Statsoli boss. Guyana wants Brazil to be a very strong strategic partner, says President Ali as he discusses agenda for a visit with Brazilian president. Policewoman dies in Le Penitent accident and suspect on remand for hinterland killings tells court he is innocent. Civil society group calls on government to hold LGE and auditors unable to verify over $70 million spent on Durban Park.
Nothing in life is free, but the My Digicel app is. You don't need to be on a data plan to use the app. You can conveniently chat with Ruby or an agent for help. Check your account balance, activate a Prime bundle, or gift it to a friend. Send credit. Check the Georgetown and Burpees Bridge schedules. Activate a roaming plan. Play Shake to Win for cool prizes. So don't worry about a data plan, buddy. Download the My Digicel app from the Google Play Store or the Apple App Store today. Digicel, better together.
And now for your news in detail, the Guyana government has indicated that it intends to pursue the country's first oil blocks auction in the third quarter of 2022. When it does this, however, there are regional and international stakeholders who strongly recommend that it would be in the country's interest for the administration to secure the right to participate in the contract governing the oil block being sold. Specifically, former head of Statsoli, Suriname's national oil company Rudolf Elias, says the right to participation would allow Guyana a seat at the table to examine all costs associated with the offshore concession, thereby making the auditing process less problematic. Elias, who has 30 years' experience in the industry, also advised Guyana to have an independent seismic survey conducted before the auction. Though this can be costly, he noted that this allows the country to better understand the prospectivity of its block, thereby increasing the bets made by the international companies. Essentially, countries would know what their assets are worth and avoid being lowballed. In other news, we now tell you that the Audit Office of Guyana undertook a special audit in accordance with Section 26 of the Audit Act 2004 on the construction of the Durban Park Jubilee Stadium. An interim report was issued on December 7, 2018, and the findings have been reflected in the 2020 Auditor General's report some 4 years later. The report outlined that the construction of the Durban Park project commenced in 2015. A private company named Homestretch Development Inc. was created to implement this project, and as at December 31, 2017, amounts totaling $1.1 billion were expended. However, payment vouchers to support expenditure incurred by the ministry, totaling some $70 million, were not produced for audit examination. As such, auditors noted completeness, accuracy, and validity of this amount could not be determined. Moving on, President Ali yesterday told the President of Brazil, Jair Bolsonaro, that Guyana wants to have a very strong strategic partnership with its Portuguese-speaking neighbors. According to a government release, the two leaders who communicated via teleconference also discussed the agenda for the expected visit of President Bolsonaro to Georgetown later this month. President Ali listed several areas that are critical for both countries to move their relationship forward, including energy and food security, telecommunication, infrastructure integration, and trade. He also pointed out that due to their geographical locations, the nations must make strong statements in linking their territories. And we now tell you that a 57-year-old Special Corporal, Dawn Booker, was killed yesterday after a truck ran over her around 8 hours 15 in the vicinity of the East La Penitence Market, Georgetown. At the time of her demise, it is believed that the woman was headed to work. In a video of the accident, she is seen proceeding south on the eastern parapet of the East La Penitence public road. A male pedal cyclist is seen approaching from the opposite direction on the said parapet. When the two cyclists were about to cross paths, SC Booker, it would appear, made a judgment call and swerved to the right, seemingly to prevent a collision. As a result, she lost control of her cycle and fell to the road surface. Within moments, a truck heading in the same direction appears in the frame and runs over the upper portion of Booker's body. And we now tell you that one of the suspects in the Hinterland killings that took place last Christmas Eve, through his lawyer, told the Georgetown Magistrates Court yesterday that he had nothing to do with the murders. The suspect, identified as 42-year-old Kirtland Damon, also known as Carto, was charged with the murder of Sherwin Goddett and Sean France, two miners who were brutally stabbed to death along a trail heading to their camps located in the Nassano Bagdam, Northwest District, Region 1. Kite was released on bail, while Damon was placed before the court to face the murder charge. Time check for you, 12 hours 9. We will return with more news in detail after the break.
Weak systems of governance and the absence of the rule of law both combine to form the perfect stage for corruption to flourish. As part of our anti-corruption fight at Kaieteur Radio, we invite you to join us every Tuesday evening from 7:30 p.m. as we embark on the most needed quest to remove the tentacles of corruption from our systems. See you then for our latest program called Governance, Corruption and Justice.
This is GHK Lal inviting you to join me weekdays from Monday to Friday on the National Outlook for commentary on a range of issues. Immediately after the 12 noon and 7 p.m. newscasts on Kaieteur Radio at 99.1 FM and 99.5 FM. Looking forward to you sharing in the conversation.
And we now return with more news in detail. Article 13, the new civil society group which sets out to achieve the noble goals and aspirations set out in the Constitution of Guyana, is once again calling on President Irfaan Ali to use his immense powers to see that the organs of the Constitution are established in the shortest possible time. In this regard, the group is lobbying the government to ensure that steps are taken for the local government elections to be held in the shortest possible time. At this critical time, Article 13 said it will continue to challenge the government to demonstrate accountability and to ensure that the voices and concerns of the Guyanese people are heard, just as the Constitution requires. And we now tell you that since quote-unquote our immune system protects us by being both offensive and defensive against any invading pathogen, including the coronavirus, according to emergency medicine specialist Dr. Zulfikar Box, it's advocating for persons to ensure, as far as possible, that their immune system is in tip-top shape and ready to battle. To achieve a robust immune system, Dr. Box recommended some tactical measures that have been proven by science to be beneficial to our body against COVID-19. He listed eating healthily, getting sufficient rest, minimizing stress levels, optimal exercise, and daily intake of vitamin C, D, and zinc. These measures, however, should not take away from adherence to other safeguards, including vaccination and subsequent booster shots. And we now turn your attention to page 7 of the Kaieteur News, dedicated to being blunt. If the government of the day is expecting citizens to safeguard themselves against COVID-19 instead of taking drastic action to protect the nation, then the message is clear. Each Guyanese must take responsibility for him or herself. The Guyana Teachers Union, therefore, should not be crucified for taking the lead to safeguard our educators who are desperately needed to mold the minds of our young ones. With the unprecedented increase of cases, why not choose well-being through virtual interactions rather than possible infection through face-to-face classes? Let's safeguard today in hopes of seeing a future where our leaders have at least a modicum of empathy for the people they are elected to serve. My name is Amrita Koshal, and this was your main newscast right here on Kaieteur Radio.